The village awoke each morning to the sound of hammer striking iron, sharp, steady, echoing across the fields. That sound belonged to Raghav, the poor blacksmith. His little workshop stood at the edge of the village, its clay walls cracked, its roof patched with hay. Inside, fire glowed in the furnace, not just with heat, but with the quiet determination of a man who had little in life except his work, his hands, and his heart. Raghav was not a man of many possessions. His clothes were faded, his shoes torn, his stomach often empty. But his eyes carried warmth, and his heart carried more wealth than anyone could see. For he never turned away a neighbor who came with broken tools, even when they could not pay. "Bring me some grain when you harvest," he would say with a smile. "Or simply bring me your blessings." The villagers respected him but rarely thought about him beyond their needs. They saw him as useful, but ordinary. Few knew the depth of his loneliness, the way his nights stretched in silence after the flames of his furnace died. His wife had passed away years earlier, leaving behind no children. Only the memory of her gentle laughter lingered, keeping him company as he worked late into the night. A cold winter day. One winter morning, as frost lay thick on the ground, a young boy wandered into Raghav's workshop. He was thin, barefoot, shivering in the cold. His name was Arjun, and he looked no older than 10. "Uncle," the boy said softly, "can you fix this?" In his small hands he held a broken toy cart, its wooden wheel cracked. Raghav wiped the sweat from his brow and knelt before the boy. "Where did you get this?" he asked kindly. "My father made it for me before he went away," the boy whispered, eyes filling with tears. Raghav felt his heart twist. He saw in the child's trembling fingers a longing he recognized, love bound to memory. Without a word, he placed the cart on his workbench. Sparks flew as hammer kissed iron, wood was shaped, and nails set. Within an hour, the cart was whole again. Arjun's face lit up with joy, as though the warmth of the furnace had entered his very soul. "Thank you, uncle," he cried. Raghav smiled, though his eyes grew moist. "No need for thanks. Keep it safe. It carries your father's love." From that day on, Arjun visited often. Sometimes to play near the furnace, sometimes to chatter about his school, and sometimes just to sit quietly while Raghav worked. The blacksmith, who had long lived alone, now found laughter returning to his walls. The stranger. One evening, as the sun sank behind the fields, a stranger rode into the village. He wore fine clothes, his horse strong and well-groomed. He stopped before Raghav's workshop, his sharp eyes studying the humble man at work. "Are you the blacksmith?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Raghav replied, bowing his head. "I need a sword, strong, sharp, unbreakable. I will pay you well if it is ready in 3 days." Raghav hesitated. Such a weapon required not just skill but sleepless nights. Still, he nodded. "I will do my best." The stranger smirked. "Do more than your best. My journey depends on it." For 3 nights, Raghav labored. His arms ached, his back throbbed, but he did not stop. The furnace blazed, sparks danced, and the ring of hammer on steel filled the dark. Arjun sat nearby, sometimes dozing, sometimes whispering encouragement. "You can do it, uncle. I know you can." At dawn on the 3rd day, the sword lay finished, gleaming, flawless, alive with fire's spirit. The stranger returned, tested it with a swing, and his eyes widened in approval. He dropped a heavy bag of coins on the bench. Raghav looked at the gold but pushed it back. "I cannot take all this. Just give me what is fair." The stranger stared in disbelief. "Do you not want wealth?" Raghav shook his head. "Wealth rusts, but good work, and a good name, last longer." The stranger smiled faintly, as if amused. "You are a rare man, blacksmith." With that, he mounted his horse and rode away. Trouble in the village. Not long after, whispers spread through the village. The crops were failing, water was scarce, and families feared hunger. People grew anxious, their eyes restless with worry. One night, a wealthy merchant from the nearby town arrived. He offered to buy the villagers' remaining grain at low prices, promising riches later. Some villagers agreed out of fear. Others argued. Tension rose. Raghav, though poor himself, stepped forward. "Do not sell all that you have," he warned. "This man seeks profit, not your survival." The merchant laughed. "And who will feed you, blacksmith, when hunger knocks at your door? You have nothing." The villagers fell silent. Though they respected Raghav, his poverty weakened his voice. The merchant's caravan rolled away with sacks of grain, leaving the village uneasy. That night, Arjun sat quietly by the furnace, worry shadowing his young face. Uncle, what will happen to us? Raghav placed a hand on his shoulder. Hope is like iron, Arjun. When struck hard, it bends, but if forged with fire, it becomes strong. We must hold on. The storm. Weeks passed. The fields dried further, and hunger crept into homes. Then, one evening, dark clouds gathered. A storm unlike any the village had seen in years tore across the land. Trees snapped, roofs collapsed, and the merchant's caravan, heavy with stolen grain, overturned in the floodwaters of the riverbank. Morning revealed devastation, but also something unexpected. The river had changed course, flooding into new channels and leaving behind rich, wet soil across the village fields. The disaster became a strange blessing. Among the debris, villagers found the grain sacks the merchant had taken. Most were intact, washed back toward the village. The people stood together, unsure what to do. Some whispered of keeping the grain for themselves. Others feared the merchant's return. Raghav stepped forward again, his voice steady though his body was weary. This grain was ours, taken unfairly. But let us not hoard it. Let us share it equally, so no child sleeps hungry. The villagers exchanged glances. This time, they listened. For in the blacksmith's eyes, they saw not poverty but truth. They gathered, divided the grain fairly, and planted the seeds in the rich new soil left by the flood. Slowly, hope returned to their hearts. The revelation. Months later, the fields bloomed green again. Harvest came, abundant and golden. The village thrived, laughter and music filling the air. One morning, the stranger returned, the very man who had once asked for a sword. But now he wore simple clothes, not fine garments. He approached Raghav, who was polishing tools by the fire. You saved this village, the stranger said. Raghav frowned. I only did what was right. The stranger smiled. Do you not recognize me? I am not merely a traveler. I am a king in disguise. I journeyed through the land to see its people, to find those whose hearts are greater than their wealth. The villagers gasped in shock. The king turned to them. This man, poor in gold but rich in kindness, has shown what true strength means. From this day forward, his forge will serve not just your village, but my palace as well. He placed a royal seal in Raghav's hands, granting him honor and security for life. Tears welled in the blacksmith's eyes. He glanced at Arjun, whose face shone with pride. For the boy had become like a son to him, filling the emptiness in his heart. Closing. That night, as stars glittered above, the village celebrated with food, music, and light. Raghav sat by the fire, Arjun beside him, laughter ringing in his ears. The poor blacksmith, once unseen, now held the love of his people, the trust of a king, and the joy of family. And in the glow of the furnace, his heart burned brighter than the iron he shaped, forever strong, forever kind.